Let's go. Hey everyone, I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a movie review on It Ends With Us, which is a movie based on a popular book series from author Colleen Hoover. So I actually have explained this in my episode of Full Day of Going to the Movie Theater covering It Ends With Us. I've never read anything from this author, let alone any of the books from this series. But before we start going over the movie It Ends With Us, as we are going to be talking about it in today's video, make sure you guys go and subscribe to Mr. Gray Poupée. I'm going to leave his YouTube channel and Twitter linked in the description box below. Go and subscribe to his channel, follow him on Twitter, and give him some clout. So I'm going to ask you this before we start covering the movie. Have you read anything from this author at all? Or did you read the series?
Okay. Since watching the movie, I kind of tried to figure out what the hell is this phenomenon about. So I did a bunch of research into the book. I've not actually read it. Yeah, not really my cup of tea, if you will. What can I say? But yeah, I guess I can see why this is so popular now. It is kind of crazy. Apparently, last week it took the very highest spot that it could have next to an amazing movie. And then, yeah, it turns out what it was able to make in its opening weekend is better than what Romulus is expected to pull in this weekend. So that's crazy that Alien Romulus did not pull in It Ends With Us money. It is a huge, I guess even on their poster, it does say, based on the global best-selling phenomenon. So, it's not like there was a global best-selling phenomenon of Alien Romulus, so perhaps it's a little bit different.
Also, in this movie review for It Ends With Us, okay, we are not going to talk about the drama because that has no bearing on the actual quality of the movie, okay? Just letting you guys know, and I mentioned this before in the vlog episode of Full Day of Going to the Movie Theater, I'm going to just do a separate video on that because I know people would probably come to this hoping that we would spend like most of the review on the drama. Guys, that doesn't matter for the actual movie itself. That's like some trash talk that you do with like your buddies, actually. Okay, so now we got all that up.
They're not getting along, man.
I thank you for letting me know that. I'm glad. Oh, but I will say this as well. In my theater showing, I actually had people in there. For the last two movies I've watched, and you guys would have seen the movie reviews for those before you see this one, which is on Borderlands and Trap. I was the only guy in the theater. I went at like 9:30 my time, as I told you guys before in the group chat. Nobody in there, just me. I went to go watch this movie. There's people in there. I was like, wait, what? There was like a good 10, 12 people in there, all women, straight up all women. I will, for the life of me, never understand why women eat this stuff up. Women just love this shit. No matter if it's the worst thing ever or the best thing ever. Women just love it no matter what it is. Completely are in love with this kind of shit.
Yeah, I do agree with you that you will never understand what women love.
But after this movie, I do. I got in touch with my feminine side, and I was like, I get what women go through now.
That is rather progressive of you. Yeah, welcome to the understanding group. Empathy. Yeah. It looks good on you, sir.
Oh God. Well, I'll ask you, man. Since you're the guest here, I like to treat my guests with honor. I'm just kidding. I don't. I actually hate you guys, honestly. Let's start here. Did you overall like the movie, not like it? Do you think it was good, average? What's your general thoughts of the movie? Let's start there.
So it is a movie. We can all agree on that.
Sure is a movie. One of the movies ever made, right?
It has aspects that are positive. I kind of like how it's doing this unreliable narrator type deal
Mhm.
where you're kind of seeing these events through, I don't know if you'd call them rose-colored glasses, but she's not seeing them for what they are. And then later on, we do get kind of her perspective shifts a little bit and she's able to reevaluate those exact situations that we were shown. Uh, one of them, for instance, for some reason, this surgeon, he's amazing. You know, his hands are a gift to man. He's amazing. Brain surgeon, right? It's either heart or brain. I think it's brain surgeon.
You're right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these hands are like gifts from God. They can reconstruct the brain. But yeah, he decides to open the oven and not use an oven mitt to like grab some dish out of the oven. And then it does like this camera kind of flash thing. And you think he just gets burned and perhaps his elbow just kind of connects with
Yeah.
Blake
Just yeah.
Lively.
Mhm.
It doesn't show like, you know, he's full on going after her or anything like that. And then he ends up falling and cutting his hand on the glass. But it re-shows that event, and yeah, it wasn't quite just so innocent. It was more her reaction to that. Um,
Mhm.
so the novels they get a lot of controversy because apparently they're really accused of romanticizing abuse in certain ways and kind of making it seem like this is a very desirable relationship, if you will. And
Mhm.
they go into what exactly happened quite heavily. So I do like how the movie kind of tones that back in a way. I kind of like how it's showing you this recontextualization of an event, and it is doing that unreliable narrator thing. But man, so much of this just does not work for me. My overall reception to this is just uh, it's kind of a muddled movie. I think most of it is based off of the source material, like the characters' names. Like, my God, how do you have characters with names like this? So if you have a main character and you're going to name them Blossom Bloom, what do you think they're going to do with their life? Turns out, I mean, of course, they have the dream of opening a flower shop, right? Because what else could you
We
do
got a
with a
problem with
name
women
like
having their own dreams, man. What are you, a
I
feminist?
want them to have names, but come on. Like if you write characters like this person dreams of owning a flower shop, their name is Lily Blossom Bloom. Um, I don't know, man. Like it sounds so like fairy tale book to me. The surgeon who she ends up having a relationship with, and the main part of the romance is Ryle Kincaid, the name Ryle. So it's like Kyle, but no K, it's an R. Ryle.
Mm.
Interesting choice. And then there is kind of a former lover, a flame, if you will, that kind of comes back. And of course, his name is Atlas because nobody is just named like Mike or Joe or Steve or anything like normal in this world. Instead, we got to have Lily Blossom Bloom, Ryle Kincaid, and Atlas Corrigan. So it's stuff like that where it's like, I don't know, you're really making me like
Mhm.
go into fairy tale name kind of
Mhm.
territory. I don't know. What do you think? Did the world all seem real to you?
Okay, so like you, I have a lot to say on the movie as well. So I'll start it here. I did like the way the movie utilized the flashbacks because I feel like most movies don't do that anymore. I feel like movies generally never utilize flashbacks in a way where it could help you contextualize more visually what has been going on, right? Now,
And
people
they
don't actually.
did it way better than the book. Sorry, please
You're
continue,
fine.
and then
No, you're
I'll
fine.
I'll kind of let you know how the book did.
So
So the
the
book did this stupid thing where instead of doing like flashbacks, you get what happened in the past through journal entries or diary entries, really.
okay,
But
yeah,
the conceit of the diary is she's writing to her best friend Ellen DeGeneres on the Ellen DeGeneres show. So all of the past that you get from this comes in the form of diary entries to her friend Ellen
right.
DeGeneres. This is much better. I like these flashbacks, and also
Mhm,
it was like a bunch of them kind of spread out. I can't remember if it was at the beginning of each chapter or if there were just
mhm,
chunks of diary entries. But this it kind of consolidates them into like just a few flashbacks of her flame and then a little bit of
right.
the parents, which it works for me.
So, if people don't actually know, Justin Baldoni, who's the director of the movie, is actually also acting in the movie. as Ryle Kincaid. Now, I know a lot of people.
He is Ryle.
I know people have their opinions about it right now, but I will give him credit on this. To be able to direct an entire movie when you're basically balancing out personalities of the cast, worrying about catering and direct and the producers and writers, all that stuff. Then to not only do
Plus
all
those
that,
ads.
have all those duties that you have to do on the movie set to get everything done, then to actually act in the movie too. I will say I will always give a person credit for that. That is a lot on a person's plate to not only basically manage all these people, all these big personalities, and then also be able to act in the movie and be able to act in the movie overall pretty well. So the story, we'll talk about the story like you said, because, okay, how about I explain this to be nice to people? If you actually went through what this character went through, you'd probably really like the movie. But if you actually haven't gone through something like this, you're probably going to look at this movie and go, all right, what the hell? That's why the movie's pretty divisive. That's why I think people are very just kind of meh on it. I do feel like maybe in a long time from now, this is a prediction, it might not come true. Long time from now, this movie might get looked at a lot more better than it is right now, given the fact that more people might go through something like this and understand where the movie's coming from. But then again, that's just a prediction. That happens with a lot of movies that you don't even think it's going to happen with. And that happens to other movies that don't even actually, deserve it at all. So that's the flashbacks. I really enjoyed those. I really like the way he utilized the flashbacks because I feel like a lot of movies don't actually do that very well at all anymore. Blake Lively, if you'll know, I like her. She's a white girl, so obviously I gotta like her in general. But no, all kidding aside, I've seen her in Gossip Girl, seen her in The Shallows. Actually, I do generally like her acting as far as it's B quality anyway. I feel like she's definitely a lady that can carry the movie, and she did carry the movie. Actually, she acted very well. She's definitely a leading lady material. But the problem with the movie overall, as what you've mentioned, is. The overall story of it is there's two sayings that go with it, and I mentioned it in my vlog, which is history repeating itself. That's one. And what's the other one you would say? It's another saying that could go with the movie because it's definitely history repeating itself. And I think I said the second one in my vlog, and I just can't remember right now off the top of my head what it was. But they also do this trope toward the very end of the movie, where something big happens and the character is like, hey, take me back, I'll change. And people know what that means. When an abuser tells you they'll change, they never do. So the movie...
Was your audience kind of like falling for it? So weirdly, my audience was kind of like awing and they seem to be really into it.
No, my different reaction.
Okay, so when he's like building the crib and everything, they seem to be into that. And it's like, okay.
My theater audience, the full of women that we had, they were, once it was revealed that he was being an actual piece of shit, you could tell they were like into him and he was trying to get her. And then after when he stopped, it was revealed that he was actually doing he was actually abusing her, they were like, nah, there was a really cringy thing that he did. And obviously it's not as bad, but out of context, it will look kind of weird. Like she has the baby and at the movie and he's like, hey, I'm your daddy. Okay, that was just weird. That was just so cringe dialogue. No dad does that.
That's the one time you can say that line, MSK.
That must have been the cringiest line of dialogue he did. It did it twice. I was like, Justin, you've been acting in the movie really good. Why'd you do that to me? That was beyond cringe. No one talks like that. Dialogue is terrible. Another problem with the movie, dialogue it's pretty like you don't believe these characters. It's hard to believe in some of them. That's why I think the movie gets kind of knocked down a peg. The dialogue is pretty hit or miss here and there. Also, this movie, along with Borderlands, along with Trap, they're all rated PG-13. Why? This movie definitely could have benefited from being rated R. The sex scenes... You
wanted a hard R in this?
Yes, the sex scenes were terrible. The sex scenes were ass. Like, show me something. Like, she looks really good, but like, goddamn, like, give me some sex in here. Like, goddamn, he's like doing this like tender sex to her. Like, that's really gay. Like, no, you better pound that ass up. Bro,
I understand that's what you always want to see in a movie, but it's a movie about so it's not exactly like a love story, if you will. Like there is the whole kind of side story with Atlas where it seems like that might lead to something, but it's talking about trauma and lying to yourself and being in a very toxic relationship. So I don't know. I think they hit kind of a good tone in this, that they're not trying to show Ryle as like a good guy. However, they do make him in this a little bit more positive than he is in the books. In the books, he goes beyond like these 3 incidents that they show. He's just constantly like kind of berating Lily Blossom Bloom. And he's just a much worse character. I don't know, but then they've made other certain choices with this character where, I guess we'll talk into it later. It's kind of a end of it type of spoiler. So I'll let you keep going with how you want to talk about this.
Well, let's get into some hot juiciness. So at the beginning part of the movie, Lily comes back to her hometown and she doesn't want to say anything good about her father because her father is dead. Okay, go to the funeral.
She's supposed to give a eulogy, and she can't come up with words. So her mother gives her the easy thing, like, "Hey, just write 5 good things about him, or 5 things you like about him." So she has a napkin, and she decides to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it. But she can't actually write anything on it. But
nothing.
You know, this is years ago, but somehow this napkin sticks with her the whole movie. Interesting.
Also, guys, keep in mind, when this part starts of the movie, you're thinking like, damn, is she just a straight up piece of shit? Like, she wouldn't say anything good about her dad at his funeral. Now, kind of find out later on in the movie, she was thoroughly justified in not doing it. But that's what I did like about Justin Baldoni's directing. He subtly gave you enough, but gave you enough and then cut it away to keep your mind guessing. That's what I did like about the movie as well. One of the good attributes of it, it kept my mind guessing like, did this really happen? What's the real event of this? I gotta give him credit. That was actually pretty good. Later on, after that, she's depressed. She's on this building top. She meets the other main cast character we talked about, which is played by Justin Baldoni. His name is Ryle. Talking about the what?
You missed the part of the intro.
Oh my god, the
storming onto this.
Oh my god.
Well, he comes storming onto this rooftop and just starts beating the shit out of a chair. Like, her introduction to him is him just like literally
raging
kicking
out.
And punching, raging against a chair. Now, why is he raging? Because he's this famous brain surgeon who lost a patient. You know, it's perfectly understandable. He's had a bad day, so of course he can take it out on a chair. But this seems like a great guy. And then, as you mentioned, then they've got to tell each other some. Did you call it naked truth?
They said naked truths in the movie. Actually, that's what they said.
And, and they chose some really weird ones. Again, I'm not sure if it is the filmmakers, if it is like the script. I think it's all kind of stuff from the book, to be honest. Because, like you mentioned, there is some kind of subtle stuff that Justin Baldoni's doing with his direction on this. There are things that are left for you to kind of figure out where they're not in the novelization. So I would have to think some of this, you know, they're able to kind of capture your attention and everything. So I have to think little things like that are in the actual novelization, the whole like naked truths. And then so her naked truth is that she lost her virginity to a homeless man.
Guy. Yep.
Yeah. I would have to think that that's belittling, especially when it's, you know, somebody that meant so much to you, and it was a small portion of his life when he got kicked out.
But keep in mind, that's the beginning part
of the Marines.
Keep in mind, that's the beginning part of the movie when we really didn't know much about her, to the point where then after, actually after that, there's a very key moment in the movie, because later on, she meets her what soon to be best friend. And then there's a part of the movie, the first act, where she clearly tells her, do not date him. Keep in mind, the character that is her best friend is the actor's name is Jenny Slate. It's Alyssa. She tells her, do not date this guy. I love
me some Jenny Slate. So Jenny Slate just happens to be walking by this random shop that Blake Lively just bought. Lily Blossom Bloom just bought her flower shop. And Jenny Slate just walks in and says, you need to hire me. I'm going to be your best friend. Let's do this. And then
that's it.
She just so happens to be the sister of the surgeon that she met a little while back, beating the shit out of a chair on a roof. Mr. Ryle Kincaid.
And then she notices that Ryle is interested in Lily. And then, I shit you not, people, this is why the movie just gets knocked down a peg each time. When I try to like it, it does this to me. because, like I said earlier, she literally tells her, this is her actual brother. I've never seen a sister do this in real life where the sister's been like, hey, he ain't shit. Don't date that guy. She literally tells him straight up, he's a piece of shit. You probably shouldn't date that guy. And guess what happens, guys?
Yeah.
They end up
He's
together.
not good to women.
She literally said,
Well.
hey, he is not good to women at all. And she's just like, oh, okay, I'll just date this guy. Oh, then later marry him.
Oh, spoilers, man. But yeah,
spoilers,
the other
bastard.
The other thing is Jenny Slate, Alyssa, Ryle Kincaid's sister. She happens to have a husband, and that happens to be other comedian Hassan Minhaj. But it's interesting that in these type of movies, they always put literally comedians as like the quirky best friend. And this time it's the quirky best friend couple. But yeah, it's just kind of interesting, BFFs just because there's a help wanted sign in the building that she bought. She didn't put a help wanted sign in the window. Just there was one in this shop that Blake Lively bought. So that's what brought Jenny Slate around. It's interesting. I guess I'll let it go, but an awfully small world here in New York that somehow this guy that you meet on the roof just happens to be sister or brother to your new best friend who you just hired, which that's a weird relationship as well. Hiring your new best friend to work for you. How's that working out for you, MSK?
So after the part where she says she lost her virginity to a homeless guy, then throughout the entirety of the movie, we get a series of flashbacks where the guy that she was helping initially, because she saw that he was just homeless and he stunk. For long story short, she gave him food. She let him come over, take a shower. Basically, they sat together on the bus. They started growing their relationship. This is the same guy that they later on meet in the movie, who's portrayed by Brandon Skeller, and he is Atlas, actually. Now,
as long as we're talking about this, so you praised Blake Lively, you praised Justin Baldoni. The lady who plays young Lily Blossom Bloom, young Blake Lively, her name is Isabella Ferreira. Man, she is amazing at playing a younger version of this actress. Like they got somebody that looks very similar to her. Her acting is like spot on, but she's even got like the same like birthmark too, like whatever you want to call it, like a beauty mark on her face. It is interesting, man. That was an awesome casting, and it's awesome that they both seem to be about equal talent. And I dug the young Atlas as well. I guess Alex Neustrad.
I'll say this.
Whatever his name is.
Do you think the younger actor who portrayed Atlas was better than the version of him that was older? You don't think so?
I kind of like the older one, but that's because it feels like he isn't just some homeless kid who doesn't know what's going to happen. Like it feels like it is somebody who possibly did go through basic training or something to, make them this confident, fully fleshed out human being where you kind of get that it's a broken, scared kid before, even though both him and Isabella Ferrer, the younger version of Atlas and Lily, they still look like they're 30. Like everyone on this bus is like, where the hell are you guys going? Like this is, you guys get a bus to work each day or, oh, okay, this is high school. Okay. I guess you got to do that. You don't want to pay kids. And I think they've got like a requirement to how long they can actually be on set. So yeah, of course you're going to edge everyone up. But I thought it was just weird. Even though they went with the younger version of them, it still felt to me like that's way too old to be a high school.
Yeah. I felt like the flashback actors that they used for them played up their romance really well. And that actually impacted the way they saw each other later on in the movie. So, okay, this is why this movie just ends up just like, it just does this stuff to me. So there's many red flags to show this guy is basically not going to be what we think, because they make you think at the beginning part of the movie, he really is going to change. He had said, well, basically, I've never really been in a relationship. I don't do that stuff. He's kind of a one night kind of guy where he, just like me, pounds a girl, leaves her, stuff like that, obviously. She's like, no, I want a relationship. And then later on, they play up them having some sort of romance and they end up together, obviously. Then there's one.
And then the sister also kept warning her, like you don't want to be with him, to the point where they were kind of hiding their relationship, their tryst from the sister. And then when she found out, she said, I believe, don't do this. I can't remember exactly what she said when she first found out, but Yeah, so there's many warnings, not just signs that hopefully she'd pick up on, but
First
actual
one.
verbal warnings.
The first one, I can't remember. Was it before the sister was married or after she had the baby? It doesn't matter. There's a part in the movie where before he's going to work, I think she or him started making food or whatever. He goes over to the stove, puts his hand on the stove. Obviously, it's probably super hot. Stoves are like, what, 400 degrees? If you put your hand on a pan there, it's gonna hurt. It won't burn your hand, but it's gonna hurt. He's mad. He's angry. She comes next to him, and then the scene kind of cuts, right? But it cuts in a way where he hits her, right? But it's shown where it's an accident, right? And you're thinking to yourself, okay, generally, guys, in life, things really do happen like that. Guys, I was playing basketball one time, and unintentionally, someone literally punched me in my eye, actually. He said sorry. He didn't mean to do it intentionally. Things like that do generally happen. Like that, you could kind of chalk to an accident. If she's literally next to him right as he grabs something that hot, of course his hand's going to fly up like that. That's a natural reaction for everyone. But later on in the movie, it's revealed that this scene wasn't interpreted the way that we thought. Actually, he burned his hand, turned over to her, and then just maliciously hit her. See how different that is?
Because she was laughing. She was laughing at him getting burned or the ridiculousness of
that's
it.
That's why I enjoyed the directing, because you got two different interpretations of it. So it made your mind keep guessing. Like throughout the movie, I was like this. I was like, I really was interested in what the hell was the actual interpretation of the events then,
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was like, hey, this guy's got something good there with this. And then there was another part of the movie, this is after they're married, where they're arguing over something. Oh, because there's a part of the movie where Ryle finds out that Atlas is the guy that she wasted her virginity on, even though she clearly said that. She literally said that at the beginning part of the movie, I wasted my virginity on a homeless guy. I don't know why she said she didn't say that. That is just a flat out lie. Guys, women just lie repeatedly. You don't remember that they lied.
So I guess there's like one thing that we kind of glossed over.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big thing, but essentially after this thing where the dish gets broken, somebody gets elbowed in the face, and then Ryle gets his hand cut. They go to this restaurant that they've been to before, that Blake Lively happened to know that Atlas was the server at this restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
They go there and they find out that Atlas isn't only the server, but he actually owns the rosrestaurant. But he sees that Blake Lively has a black eye, that she tried to put makeup on to cover this. She sees that Ryle Kincaid has a cut on his hand. He puts two and two together and knows that, no, this is not an acceptable situation.
Right.
So he confronts her while she's in the bathroom, and then God damn it, I can't say Ryle. I just can't say Ryle. So he happens to catch them together in the bathroom alone, and this just makes him so mad that he tries to fight Atlas in the middle of this restaurant, and Atlas kicks him out of there. So he's very suspicious of Atlas and tells her to basically never be around him again.
And then a few weeks pass after that. We're not really even told. Justin could have did this. They could have easily written after that how much time has passed after that, because they didn't say. And then Atlas comes in there. He basically he does that friend thing of like, hey, if you really need me, call me. My card's there. Later on in the movie, after they're married, like I just said earlier, Ryle's character finds out. He just grabs her phone and just finds that the card's in there. And he just storms off.
He doesn't find out that like she's been texting him or anything like that.
Nothing.
He just happened to literally put his number under her phone in the phone case or whatever. And supposedly Ryle is plugging it in or something, drops it, and the number comes out. He's magically able to say that, this is Atlas's number. I don't remember if he called it or...
Because she wasn't doing anything. Like, at that point, this guy's going mentally insane. Guys, he literally flipped out for no reason other than... I mean, I'll say most guys would be mad over that. But you can't prove that she was texting that person. He said he went through her phone. He didn't say she was messaging him. He didn't say any of that. But I understand from that point of view why someone would be mad. And then after that, he storms out, and then they're in the stairs, and then it cuts again. Same way before, like when she had a black eye. Later on, it is revealed that he literally maliciously pushed her down the stairs, actually. So and that one is you're just like, wait, there's something really going on here. You're thinking like, God damn, this is really starting to show what Ryle's sister said about this guy early on in the movie. There's another incident later on in the movie where, because the movie's PG-13, they're not going to actually show this like they did in the movie with the movie that Ridley Scott did, The Last Duel. They're not going to show the actual grape. Basically, she wins an award. She's voted like top 10 best business or whatever. And her husband Ryle finds out about that, and then he finds out what the symbol on her chest actually means, to the point where he's even though she's like, hey, no, I'm not doing this right now, he proceeds to almost try to grape her, and she magically is able to kick this guy off of her and run away. That's at that point you're just like, okay, this
goes
guy's
farther in the book, apparently.
Yeah, I figured
it is a little toned down for this.
Yeah,
but he sees that symbol, and he doesn't like that she has that symbol, so he decides to try and bite the symbol off of her.
Yeah. Oh God,
it's a little over the top.
I would imagine in the book he actually did fully go through it great, but in the movie, obviously, since it's a PG-13, they can't show that. But it's definitely heavily implied when she's like, "No, stop," and he's just like, "Keep going." So the other part of her and Atlas is the reason why her and Atlas meeting is very unique in the movie is because after all the flashbacks, it's revealed that after the whole losing your virginity thing with him, I've had a lot of sex with girls, so I would know how that feels, obviously. One day, her dad comes home, and it's revealed earlier in the movie that her dad was just a piece of shit. He beat her mom, but she never left him. It's also the reason why she doesn't like her mom, because she just stayed with the guy that beat her. Kind of find out, also in the movie, after all these events have happened, she's been letting that happen too. Oh, history repeating itself. It's kind of the theme of the movie, actually. He comes home. He finds out his daughter is in bed with another guy. Now, to be fair, from his perspective, if you see a random guy in your daughter's bed, you don't know what to think, actually. Like, from that point of view, I could almost understand where he's coming from. Like, you don't know. You don't know if he raped her herself. He's been stealing your shit, nothing. And he proceeds to almost fatally beat Mr. Atlas to death. And keep in mind, at that moment in time, that's the last time he saw her. That's the last time they saw each other at all. And then the moment you mentioned earlier on, where they saw each other at the restaurant, that's the first time she's seen him since, like, she was, 16, 17 years old? So what, 12 years of not seeing this guy, your first love? And she magically sees him owning a restaurant that they talked about him owning after he would go to the army and move it to Boston and all that stuff actually as well. So that's the reason why their dynamic is interesting, because they had all that special moments together, and then it was just taken away by her dad. And then they randomly see each other after she's already married to this guy, after she had already seen the red flags out of this guy. She had already had a black eye, thrown down the stairs. Okay. He tries to grape her, and at some point she does leave. She calls him, hospital, and then it's revealed that she is pregnant, actually.
When she's getting treated for the bite marks on her tattoo, where he almost bit off her tattoo, it's revealed that they can't actually take x-rays because they can't do that on pregnant women.
True. So now, movie all comes full circle. She ended up just like her mother. She didn't want to do that. Remember, that was the point early in the movie. She didn't want to end up like her mom. She ends up just like her mom. Obviously, he tries to get her back. Doesn't happen. Later on.
So this is where it got weird in my audience. It seemed like they were falling for Ryle again in this part. Like, he's coming by. So she's pregnant. She's now on her own. But he's coming by to help with, like, putting together a crib, a couple other things. They were, like, literally awing and stuff. Like, it seemed like they wanted this to be a romance where it gets back together.
Oh no! Please,
which is
kill me now.
Interesting.
So bad, man.
But there's some fun things that Justin Baldoni is able to do with kind of the directing and showing this guy, where you can tell that he is trying to win her back. He is trying to kind of, soften her up to possibly being open to like rekindling something. They have a kid now. But do you remember exactly when they get to the lines where they end up saying the titular line?
So he tries to ask her, hey, you should move back in, and she just doesn't give him an answer, because after that, or it was before that, it won't matter. She talks to his sister again, and it's revealed that when he was younger, because it's revealed earlier in the movie, their older brother died when they were really young. And this is what happened to the older brother. Ryle killed his older brother accidentally with a gun that he didn't know was loaded. And then that spurred him to have this
6.
Yeah, when he was 6, and that spurred him into having this constant rage of just being angry all the time. And to be fair, that would make someone very angry in life, knowing that they killed their own brother when they didn't know there was a loaded gun. Now, to be fair, what was there, a loaded gun in the house? It's never revealed why, but these movies always have their reasons. So yeah,
protection.
Mr. Ryle killed his own brother accidentally when he was 6, and that caused his anger issues, massive anger issues.
So then she gets to where she's actually giving birth, and
yes.
Ryle comes by the hospital. I guess she's already given birth, so he's just coming by to say hi to his daughter as well. Or I guess, is it a son? Because he asks what name she's given it. And it turns out that she has given the child the name of the deceased brother that Ryle unfortunately shot when he was 6 years old. So that affects him a lot. And then it is a daughter, sorry, because she ends up having this conversation with him where she says, okay, when this daughter, and she uses the name, I wish I could remember it now, but unfortunately the deceased brother. Thank you. Okay, when she grows up and she starts dating, if somebody hits her, what would you tell her? And then Ryle has to kind of think about it, and he'd say, leave him, never be with him again, never allow this to happen again. So he kind of seals his fate in this relationship. And I guess this is where it diverges a little bit from the book. In the book, they do go on to co-parent, so it doesn't really end with them. But in the movie, they do change it to where, Ryle sees the error of his ways, so he agrees to not co-parent, to just stay out of the kid's life and Lily Blossom Bloom's life. That it does end with them, this cycle of violence, of trauma. And like every good movie does, of course, you have to have the main character say the title at some point to make a point.
Yes. And then there's the other line of dialogue where in the movie, at that exact moment, he says, you should move back. I can get help. I can change. Classic abuser thing. They say they'll get help. They get help and it doesn't work. That's a nice little touch there. So yeah, she says the movie's line, it ends with us, because she really truly wants it to end with her and her daughter. She doesn't want the cycle to continue on, staying with an abusive husband that beats her because she feels like she can't get out.
She wants the daughter to never know this.
Yeah, I think later on she does move away from Boston. No, she still lives in Boston. She just goes and does. Oh, she visits her dad's gravesite, actually.
Yes. And she brings back this napkin from the beginning that apparently she's kept with her all this time from the time of her father's funeral, where she actually walks up on the stage with this napkin that has the numbers 1 through 5 written on it, but nothing next to it, and then prepares to say the eulogy and then just immediately runs off the stage. She somehow kept that napkin this entire time, and now she lays these 5 empty numbers, just this thing that it's supposed to be just 5 nice things that she can say about her father. It's still a blank napkin. It still just has the numbers 1 through 5, but she's kept it all along, and she lays it on his grave because, symbolism. She's letting this end with them. She's moving on now. Was that poignant to you, or did that? I know I pissed off some people in the theater because I was laughing out loud when that scene happened.
I in the theater when most of the stuff was going on, I was like, "This is so gay." Because how am I supposed to get in? How am I supposed to like her character when you had all these signs there? His sister saying, "Don't do this," and then she ends up in this situation because she wanted to be in it. Keep in mind, people. There's a part of the movie where her best friend, throughout the movie, is there. It's announced that she's pregnant herself. She was already married. She ends up giving birth before Lily, actually. And then when her friend is giving birth, that's when Ryle proposes to Lily. and you're sitting to yourself like, oh no, like it's hard to really get invested in this character and like her when you had all this right here, and you know, the flashbacks make it even more apparent that she should know better at this point than to pick someone like this, and she does, you know, like. I don't. I can see why people are divisive on the movie. I mean, if you go through like a lot of the reviews online and everything, it's literally just straight down the middle. It's like there's some really good scenes here. There's some really good acting here. Then there's also parts where you're just like, what the fuck is going on? There's some parts that are just like mega questionable. As far as the chemistry goes, her and Justin Baldoni's chemistry. Did you like it? I feel like it was pretty hit or miss. It wasn't terrible. It was hit or miss for me.
What he's supposed to play, like he's supposed to play this like perfect guy, you know, he's got the abs, he's a brain surgeon, but he's also an asshole. I thought he played that really well. I could understand his appeal. You know, she's obviously an attractive woman, but yeah, when you're talking about the chemistry together, yeah, some scenes didn't exactly seem like they like each other.
Runtime is what, 2 hours long too? Like, man, guys, I was in the theater and I was like, damn, this is 2 hours. This could have been like an hour and 30-minute movie. I had to be here for 2 hours. Holy shit!
Yeah, but then you don't get to see, like, you know, the fun way that it kind of ties it all together and recontextualizes these scenes that we've kind of seen before. The stairs, the thing getting burned, and then, you know, the bite or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I guess there is a lot of behind the scenes drama, which we're not going to necessarily get into, but that might have led to kind of the chemistry issues between them. Everybody at the press screenings of this and everything, apparently there's kind of two camps. Apparently the director is not with everybody else, even though he's playing the, you know, Ryle Kincaid, the second lead, so to speak, and he is the director. It seems odd. So I don't know. Something that big could lead to, I would think, chemistry issues between the two actors on screen. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
Like, I'll say this: outside of Blake Lively's character, Joseph Baldoni's character, and the best friend, the cast itself really wasn't all that. Oh, sorry, and the flashback character. So outside of those five, I would say the cast really isn't all that strong. I feel like the story itself, if you've been through this in life, if you've been through this in real life, you know those better than me. Or if you've somewhat seen many movies like this, you know where these end up. These are very predictable movies, actually. You know, I like chick flicks, I do, but they're almost the same thing as rom-coms. You know where they're going to end up. It's not that much different, obviously. And I feel like the movie, just the pacing is so slow. There's moments this movie could have just gotten sped up. It was just meandering. I was like, come on, hurry up. Let's go. And I get it. Like, if you love the books, you'll probably like this movie. Keep in mind, before this movie was coming up before I've even read a book of hers, especially in this series, right? So I'm saying these things as someone that's not been an original book reader. So I imagine if you were already into the books, you enjoyed this. I'm not saying you probably shouldn't, and I'm not telling you that you should also have a different opinion. What I'm saying is, for a movie, this would probably just work better as just a TV show. I think this would be better formatted as a TV show, because it just feels like it's just meandering most of the time. The dialogue also can be pretty hit or miss here and there. The sex scenes are awful. They're terrible. I hated them. They're so gay. They were so cringe. You could tell this was made for teenage girls, honestly. Holy crap. But I will say, there was some good stuff in there too. The flashbacks were pretty cool. The emotional moments were great. I feel like the acting really got to the best of its ability when the emotional moments happened, actually. But for the rest of it, it's just, I don't know. That's what it is for me. Like I told people before, this could teeter on a bad movie or an average movie or a good movie, just depending on who you talk to, because this is the kind of movie that touches on a serious subject in which, where if you haven't gone through this, then you're probably going to be like, what the fuck is this? Like, why is this lady so stupid? You know? Because I can understand average people going like, why is this bitch so dumb? There's actually just so many red flags there. Like, it just is, and she marries the guy too.
Yeah, but she's lying to herself. She's lying to the audience on like what actually happened in these things. Yeah. Like, it is kind of a fun reveal. Well, fun probably isn't the word. Effective reveal that you get to recontextualize what actually happened in all these events. Once she does go to the hospital with Atlas after she's been bit by Ryle and finds out that she's pregnant, then she thinks about all these incidents, and that's when she's able to kind of through the flashback see the rest of those scenes that like, oh yeah, I was pushed down the stairs. Oh, I did get slapped essentially for laughing at him when he burned himself stupidly.
Mhm.
Um, it's interesting. I think things like that are effective. I like the actors that are in it. Yeah, maybe the chemistry between Justin Baldoni and
Mhm.
Blake Lively could have been a little bit better, but I don't know. You don't want them to have too much chemistry. You don't want it to be like, but they should be together. Like you do want there to be an obvious, like, they shouldn't be together. So that part to me, it kind of works. I like a lot of the camera movement that
Mhm.
happens in there. A lot of the shots of kind of how fun her life is at certain times, especially when they're kind of doing the
Mhm.
montage of getting the flower shop ready. There's some scenes that look really
There's some
fun.
scenes that are
I like
genuinely
where
pretty
they,
fun. Yeah. That's why
yeah, I like
that's why this is a mixed bag, because
it is.
you want to like it. Like, I do want to like the movie, guys, but there's just the other layer where it just bogs it down completely, Like the mother. Like, why would the mother at all throughout the movie have almost no influence on her? The mother throughout the entire movie has no influence on her at all. Now, to be fair, that is because she also keeps her mother out of it for the most part as well. But the mother has no impact on her. And it's like, man, imagine being that removed from your daughter's life. You have no idea that she was even getting married. Like, you must, like, what kind of, they never even explored their relationship. Like, what I would have liked is that in the flashbacks, maybe she talks to her mom in a flashback to see, like, why are you staying with my dad, who's clearly, I don't know, beating the shit out of you? She asked her at the end of the movie when everything's over. Like, what is that gonna
Mhm.
do? What the hell is that gonna do to anybody? Useless at that point. But it's like, I
I
don't know.
think
Like, I don't know.
she thinks that she did better than her mother because she stopped the cycle where her
Oh,
mother
kill me now.
essentially perpetuated it. It did not end with her, the mother. Instead
Mhm.
it ended with Lily Blossom Bloom. Um, I don't know, man. It's a real mixed bag. I like a lot of the actors in it. I like certain aspects of it, but
I just feel
yeah,
like
I think
there's another
when you get
critique
to
to
the
that.
actual story, when you get to the actual characters, when you get to the
Yeah.
names, it seems so juvenile. It seems so YA in content,
Did you think there was too
but it
many
does seem
sexy
like
scenes, like
professionals are
Bill said?
making it. Sorry, you said too many sex scenes for
Yeah,
you?
yeah. So a big criticism people had of it was too many sexy scenes. Did you think that was a problem throughout the movie?
Not really. I couldn't tell you how many there were. Like, I know they kind of almost get together on the roof, and then there's like an emergency, and then she says that she won't sleep with him when he runs into her at a party at like the
Mhm.
sister's house or something. They end up sleeping in the same bed, but not sleeping together. I don't know. Like, it seems flirty, kind of courting. None of that seems like an issue to me. I don't remember like a
Mhm.
ton of sex scenes after that or anything like that. Yeah, to me, it doesn't seem over the top or gratuitous or anything like that. It seems, you know, par for the course for like this YA kind of story. Just it seems odd, the mixture of it. Like, these are adult actors. It looks like a real movie, but it comes off like YA material. Like, it just,
Yeah.
to me,
Mhm.
it feels like this is for a younger audience. It doesn't feel like this is for adults. It doesn't feel like
Well,
they're necessarily tackling this at an adult level.
like I said before, this is a movie where, how would I say this? Because people always ask me, would you watch this? Should I go watch this in theaters? I will always say this: go and watch movies for yourself and form your own opinions. I would always say that. Now, if you're asking me personally, because I always have two answers for this, if you went and watched this, I wouldn't tell you not to. I don't think I hated my time watching this. I didn't leave the theater going like, damn, I watched a straight up piece of shit. Like I watched Borderlands. No, but I would say that if you didn't read the book like neither of us have, you're probably gonna have the reaction that we did, because most of the reception online is like, hey, they really did the book some justice here in this movie. Some people, the same thing that people like us had. What the fuck are we watching? Like, what is this? That's why this might be the most mixed movie I've watched in a very long time. I really don't know, honestly, when it comes to people's reception, if it's going to be very much just down the line. There's some really good stuff here, also really bad stuff. But yeah, closing out of the movie review portion of this part of the video, I'll ask you, what are your closing thoughts on It Ends With Us?
I'm glad it ended. Sadly, there is a sequel book, and this one did pretty good. 48 million or something its opening
New York
weekend.
Times bestseller.
It did not retain that lead in this following weekend. Alien rightfully took its second place, excuse me, I think Alien did take first, and Wolverine. I don't know. I'm not the box office guy, but it knocked. It ends with us out of first or second. So I think that's about right to me. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever watch this again. I'm not dying to see what happens with Atlas and Lily Blossom Bloom after this, but that is where it starts with us. The second novel kind of goes off, but the second novel, it goes through a whole lot of co-parenting with Ryle. They made it pretty clear in this one that he has kind of signed away parenting rights, and it appears he's not in her life. So if they do make a sequel, Justin Baldoni did happen to mention he has no interest in directing it. Blake Lively should have it. So, the character probably wouldn't be in it, and I'm guessing the actor probably wouldn't be in it either.
Yeah,
but
I would say.
Do you have any? Do you have any want to see the sequel to this? Should they make it?
I'd go and watch the sequel. I would. I don't see why I wouldn't.
Fair enough.
I didn't, like I said, I didn't hate my time watching this. It's just that I hate when they treat women like this, because this movie proves that women not only can't pick proper partners, they're also just stupid at noticing any red flags when it comes to a potential partner. Like, I don't know if this movie does more harm for women or good for them, depending on how you look at it. Now, is this author's books where I'll go back and read the actual book or, read the sequel? Probably. It's piqued my interest at a certain point. Got to get in touch with my woman side. I got this inner lady love for movies and stuff like this where I just got to understand what the women like. I have no idea what
inside of you have this inner lady love.
I just love the white girl dramas. I love it. But no, in all seriousness, girls just eat this stuff up. Hey, if you want to become a famous author that's rich and successful, write stuff like this. Girls just eat it up. That's it. But yeah, if it came to a sequel, I would say, Justin Baldoni's probably not going to be in it. You most likely have to recast him. And since he was a director, you'd also by default would have to get a new director as well. So yeah,
if you have to recast him, like they strategically said, I can't remember what the line is, but it basically sounded like he gives up parenting and he will stay out of their life.
Oh no, I was talking from like the drama point of view. If they did a sequel, if it's as bad as people say it is, they would have to just recast him.
But you're right. It just sounded like they were going a different route than they're not going to do co-parenting in the future. So just the character's gone. Just
because since he directed this one, you'd have to not only recast him as a director, he's also the main actor in the movie too. So if they ever want to get that It Starts With Us sequel, because the movie made quite a bit of money. I don't know if it's profitable yet. It probably needs to make a little bit more to be profitable, but given its budget and maybe the low marketing budget Sony maybe set up for the movie, they're gonna push for a sequel. I guarantee it. All right, so yeah, guys, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys want to go and subscribe to Great Poupé's YouTube channel and follow him on Twitter, I'm gonna leave the links down in the description box below. Yeah, just know for me, I love this stuff. I love chick flicks, and if more chick flicks comes out, I will be watching them.
So, final question then: would you recommend this as a chick flick to people?
Then I said this in my blog. If you're a girl, go watch this. You're gonna love this. If you're a guy, do not watch this. You will be bored out your ass probably. There's only two genders, So had to throw it in there. Make sure there's only two, I'll say girls just love this stuff. I just blow the mind why you guys like this stuff. If you're, I'll be honest, also if you're a woman for between 18 years or older, you don't like this movie. This movie's demographic is mostly for women anyway, so I wouldn't really recommend a guy to watch this anyway. Plus, if you're a guy, then you probably did this to your wife or girlfriend. This movie probably make you watch them in the theater too. Good Lord, it might be the movie actually. It's that movie where like you're watching and you're like, man, are they talking to me with what they're doing actually, But yes, thank you guys for checking out this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're a returning viewer or a new viewer. Like this video, comment down below, and hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King. We're signing out, guys.